Hello guys, and welcome back to another Sons of the Forest build guide. This time we're going to be discussing how you can build in the water. Yes, not on an island in a lake, actually on the water, and have yourself perfectly protected from all hostiles. Now for this particular build, we have used a bridge, but you do not need to use one. You can have a rope bridge, or you could use the zip line if you really want to cut yourself off from everywhere. This works for 75% of the year. Obviously, when it's winter, this does freeze over. There is a way to keep it from freezing over, but you can't leave the area. So it's not 100% feasible. And of course, if you do find this video helpful, please do hit the thumbs up and share it. And we are currently pushing for 100,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy my content, if you find it helpful, do subscribe as well. Let's jump into it. In order to build on water, you have to wait until winter, and you have to build somewhere where water has frozen over. You cannot do this in the ocean, at least for the time being. Once you've found the spot that you want to work in, you're going to place down the footprint to your build. You're going to want to just do the floor. It doesn't matter the rest of it, because you can do this throughout the seasons, but you need to have at least the footprint down, and you won't be able to extend this after the ice has thawed and it's turned to water again until the following winter season. Once you've settled for the footprint of your build, it's time to decide whether you want to have a bridge that connects it or whether you want to rely on zip lines. Both are feasible. For this example, we will do a little bridge, I think. But do not leave this area and sleep when it's currently winter. You can sleep in this area, just do not leave it until you've finished at least with the foundation of the build. That's this section, and also if you're doing any bridges. I apologize for the darkness, but I didn't want to sleep before I got this done. So you can see we've got the foundations down, and we've also got all of the bridge ready. We wanted to make sure that we've done all of the grid, and once that's done, you can proceed to go to sleep. But I recommend, once you've done all of this, to go a little bit further away before you sleep. And the reason for that is that the ice seems to disappear once you sleep out of range of it. And so that's how we're able to build on the water. And as you can see, we're returning to our base, and we're now in spring with the water. So if we go across here, you can see we now have a floating base, and thankfully we did it so that we have enough space between the coast and our base so that any cannibals have to swim to get to us, which obviously they're not going to do. So the only entry point at this point is going to be this bridge, which we're about to build now. And from here, providing we get the logs across, we can start building this out. So I'm going to start building the next level now. So with it being, I think, spring, maybe early summer, we now need to get the logs across, because if we try and take the logs across, we've got some over here, you'll see that either we have to run all the way around and try and cross the bridge, or we're just going to lose the logs. So the next thing that we need to do is work out the best way to get the logs across. And we're going to do that for this particular build using the rope gun. So with this, providing you can take a shot, okay, there we go. We can see that it's highlighted. We can now connect this to, say for example, this tree. And then when we grab some logs, we can place them on the zip line. Make sure you're facing which way you want it to go. So now that this section's done, we're going to add a border around the front section and also along the bridge. And then we're going to do the build, which is actually going to be this section here. To do the border around the side, we're cutting the logs first of all. We want to make them all the same size, which is quarter of a log high. think it should probably be a little bit higher. Typical. Yeah, I think half height's better. As a heads up, if you are doing what I'm doing, I highly recommend firstly using the chainsaw to speed up your wood production, because it takes so much wood for this. And also to use the water and the ford at the bottom, you may need to add a few logs to create a bit of a dam so that all of the logs flow there. And then from there we have a rope gun that's connected just above it. But you can see here the zip line, and all I'm doing is jumping up and connecting them, and the river's bringing most of the logs at least to us. Almost done the back end of the wall, but it is going to look fantastic once it is done. But it's coming along nicely, and we've got a little lily pad opening. I think that's quite cool. You can go down and see the fishies. I'd like to do a platform so that we could spear them from here. And every now and then we get a tortoise come up and chill with us. We have our own pet. We've finally finished the outer walls. We've still left a section open so that we can send the logs there, but we're now working on the supports and then the roof. So we need the struts to go along the front, and then from there we'll be able to focus on the actual rooftop. The supports themselves, oh, we're having this problem again. There we go. Are going to be half a log higher. So we may have to add some more supports later on, but I'm okay with that. Sorry, some more wall sections later on. But we need to make sure that this looks good first. The overall structure at this point is coming along. We're working on the roofing struts. So once we've got them, we can start working on having that front section covered in a roof, and then we want to do the build section. I think what we're going to do is a straight angle here, and then we're going to peak this section. That's going to be more work, but hopefully it will work. So I managed to suss this apex roof. Unfortunately, we had to remove most of that section in order to place down the supports in the right order for that to work. And now we're filling up the gap here so that we can have a straight front. And it looks like we're going to have a balcony as well, because there's nothing I can do about that. At this point, I'm working on all of the walls. The idea is to build them up to that height, and from there we'll be able to do the last peaked roof for the build, and then add a little bit of detail. Yeah. I've had quite a bit of difficulty trying to arrange the inner supports. I finally managed to do it. The main problem was getting the staircase in, because you can't lean it against the side if you haven't done the ramp position first. But we've managed to do it in the center, and it's getting to the point where we're ready to do the back roof, but we still need to do this section of wall and then the inner supports, which I'm dreading. By the way, just in case you're interested, we produce our own lo-fi music, which is the perfect chill vibe when you're doing builds like this. And we've just released a new album to celebrate hitting 1 million streams on Spotify. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll put a link in the description below. And also, if you're a content creator, you can use the music for free in your streams or in your YouTube videos. So definitely check it out. Wow, I can really start to see some progress taking place here. So it's taken us a bit longer, but we are at the point where we can now get on with the roofing. Fantastic. We have finally done it. It is still the bare bones on the inside, but I will show you. If you are interested in me decorating this and maybe extending this in further videos, do let me know in the comments below. If we check the inside, we've got open windows, well, open walls at the moment. That's something that I'll probably work on. I'd quite like to extend it outwards eventually. And then we have the one main area along with all the supports. I think there's a way to possibly reduce these, but I need to spend more time on this. So expect a guide on that once it's done. So at this point, I'm wondering if during winter this will freeze over, or if we stay in the area, whether it will stay as water overnight. Similar, like the opposite to what happened originally, where it was frozen over, and because we didn't leave the area, it didn't turn into water. So I'm going to speed up now and jump a load of days. Thankfully we're in autumn, but let's get to winter and see if it's still water if we're staying around this area. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm sure they're going to patch this eventually. But if you stay in the area, if you sleep in the area where the build is, the water will not freeze over. However, I do not know if this changes depending on how far away you are, or if it's just if you sleep away from the area. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please do hit the thumbs up. And obviously, if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I have sussed it. So if, I presume, the host leaves the area, it doesn't matter if they sleep or not, the area will freeze over. So do bear that in mind. If you are using this technique, you'll need to stay in the area, or perhaps if it's multiplayer, have someone in the area the whole time. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Special thanks does go to all of our amazing supporters, most notably our Solo-Clips patrons, James Owen, Firefless, and Trebor, as well as our Lunars, the Calamity, Ben, Star, Shoku, the Emin Wolf, and that dude AW, as well as our Blood Moon of the day, which today is the Salchin Husky. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.